Hello, 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 hello. I'm about to go through some anatomy and physiology questions. We're doing the tissues and integumentary system today, like we promised. Where we going? What's up, guys? Welcome to the live. We're doing some tissues today. We're doing some tissues in the integumentary system today, practice questions. A lot of people have requested that. We do that. So we will be going over the tissues and the integumentary system. I'm going to write that in here just so we are all aware what we're doing. So tissues plus skin. So we're doing tissues and skin tonight as requested by a lot of the viewers from last night's stream. So the questions start off a little easier and they'll progressively get harder. We'll start here in just a minute or two once we get some people on the live, let people join and stuff and everything like that. But last night we went over some digestive system practice questions, and then this morning I actually did a little live on just some like random questions on endocrine system, which I haven't put them on. Thanks for liking the live, guys. I really appreciate it. I would appreciate if you guys like the live so we can push it out to a little more people, so we can try to help as many people out today. I put this is on the wrong part. I didn't mean to start with question 6. Signing up for a class next semester. Any tips? I definitely recommend reading your lectures and preview your lectures for about like 20 to 30 minutes before class. It doesn't have to be directly before class, but it can be the morning of or the night before. But essentially, like, I just don't think that you should be going into class learning things for the first time. Class should always be a review and should be reinforcement to what you're already learning. That's my opinion and take on it. Thanks for following. I appreciate it. How can I study the lymphatic system? Are you going to answer? Yeah, I'm going to answer them here once we get a couple more people in here. So you can get a copy of these questions. They're going to be on my Instagram after the live. It's, put it here. It's, medzeg.ollie. Same as my TikTok. I don't have it linked. For some reason, TikTok won't let me link it. But yeah, I'm going to answer the questions. I'm going to give you guys some breakdowns. Let me think. How can I... the limbic system is more so like... It can be broken down into kind of like making sure you understand their functions, the structures, I think you should focus a lot on the lymphatic flow. Definitely learn the structures in the lymphatic systems, break down like the different roles of the immunity, like antigens, antibodies, things like that. Hopefully that helped. I'm on the lymphatic system right now. I'm cooked for AMP this semester. Cytology. Right now we're doing the tissues and stuff like that. Micro B also. I don't currently have anything for it, but I would be more than happy to start doing something like that. If anyone wanted to let me know. If you want to send me an email and just let me know like what kind of stuff you need to see from it, I'd be more than happy to. Hey Jenny, hello, how you doing? I have an exam tomorrow. Tissues and skin. Perfect. That is great that you have an exam, because we're exactly doing that. We're doing the tissues and the integumentary system. Oh my god, what a condition. I'm studying this right now. Yeah, a lot of people were requesting it. But we do have quite a few people in here now, so we'll go ahead and get started. But first, I just want to thank everybody for joining and everything. Thanks for liking, and I really appreciate you guys a lot. I appreciate that you join and participate. It makes it so much fun. So thank you. I just wanted to let you guys know that I was very thankful for you guys. But anyway, question 1. Which of the following is not one of the 4 main tissue types? Okay, I did this too. Sorry about that. Cartilaginous. Yes. That is correct for D. Alrighty. Moving on here. 1 second. Number 2 here. Which type of tissue lines the body's surfaces and cavities? And if you guys have any questions or anything like that about this, let me know. I'll try to, while you guys are answering, I'll just let you know. Sometimes with you guys answering and me writing on my iPad, I do miss questions. So if I miss your question, just put it back in and whatever. Do I make these questions or find them online? I make these myself from my notes. I do post these to my Instagram afterwards. And then all my study guides are on my website. And I do have a chapter for tissues and integumentary system. Alrighty, and you guys are correct. The answer is B. You guys are incredible. Thank you. The study guides, no, but this stuff is free. Like, this will be free on my Instagram that you can download. Number 3, what is the main function of connective tissue? Thanks for following. I will be using your account in a little over a year. Great, I hope that my account will be of use to you. 3 is C, supporting, binding, and protecting organs. Alrighty, we're moving on to number 4 now here. Thanks for sharing, guys. I really appreciate you guys sharing the live. Hi, Fatima. How are you doing? Thanks for following. Number 4, which epithelial tissue is best suited for diffusion, and filtration? So when you're going through the tissues, the main thing here what you want to focus on is making sure that you very much understand what structures are and what are their functions, where are they located, things like that. Thanks for following. I really appreciate it. I'll give you guys a couple more seconds to answer. For diffusion and filtration. Alrighty. The iPad is the 2nd generation. So the answer is A, simple squamous. What's my Instagram? My Instagram is the same as my TikTok, and it's medzeg.ollie. Transitional is more so for, like, stretching. So, like, that would be in, like, the bladder. I did not say my study guides were free on my website. These are free. Like, the practice exams are free on my Instagram. My study guides I put a lot of work into those, so I definitely didn't really want to give those for free. Alright, so for number 3, someone wants an explanation, so let's go through that. So protection and secretion is not really... It doesn't secrete it doesn't really secrete very much. That describes epithelial tissue, typically. Conducting electrical impulses, this is going to be nervous tissue. And this is skeletal tissue. So, let's move on to number 5. This is epithelial secretes. What type of muscle tissue is involuntary and striated? Let's see. Give you guys a couple more seconds to answer. Fantastic. It is C. So again, it's involuntary and striated. So skeletal muscle can be striated, but it is voluntary. Smooth muscle is involuntary, but it is not striated. So which of the following is a characteristic of nervous tissue? We're on number 6. Yep, we're on tissues now. Again, which of the following is a characteristic of nervous tissue? B. Fantastic, guys. It is B. Right on. Thanks for sharing the live, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for following as well. I really appreciate you guys a lot. Alrighty, moving on to number 7. Which connective tissue is responsible for storing energy and insulating the body? Thanks for following. Alrighty, fantastic. You guys are awesome. That is C. So what is the function of goblet cells? What is the function of goblet cells? Goblet cells. See, B. Yes. Awesome, guys. It is B. Are these questions available to practice, or is there a link? There is, so... these will be on my Instagram afterwards, medzig.ollie. So you'll be able to get those there. So again, all of my practice exams that I give out and all the notes that I make for those are available for you to download or screenshot or whatever you want to do with them on my Instagram afterwards. So yeah, we can go over this real quick. Goblet cells, they're specialized epithelial cells in the respiratory and digestive tract. And they're meant to help secrete mucus. So it can be lubricate and protect the respiratory system and the digestive system. They're found in the trachea. I'll put here. Trachea. And then the bronchi, I believe. Yes, the bronchi. And then the digestive tract. They're in the intestines. Alrighty. They're kind of differently priced on my website. I would check it out there, but I think they do resemble the exam pretty well. They're very organized. If you go on my TikTok and go through some of my videos, you can see kind of what they look like. But they're just an extra resource if you don't have time to make notes yourself. I'm using GoodNotes. How about your tissue notes? I need chapter 5 now. I do have chapter 5 up there, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. I will move on to... Does that make sense now? Do we know what goblet cells are? I know some people were asking for an explanation. The study guides have practice questions, yes, but not these ones. Some of them are similar, yeah, but most of those questions from the study guides are ones that were on my exams, and my exams in particular. These I try to make a little more broad to cover a lot of other... I try to make them cover... because some people were nursing, some people were pre-med, some people were med students, so I try to have it cover everything. But the practice questions that are in my notes that you buy on my website are exactly from my exams and homework and quizzes. A little tweaked just so there's no copyright or anything like that, but they are the same. Can I start posting these on TikTok somehow or email? You know what? Yeah, I can do that. I'll do that, Kimmy. I can probably post them as a photo slideshow, I believe. I'll do that. That makes sense. I didn't think about some people not having Instagram, so that's my mistake. Anyway, let's move on to number 9. Which type of epithelial tissue is found in areas subject to friction, such as the skin? Thank you for the rose, Berenice. Is that how you say your name, hopefully? Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's so kind of you. Again, we're on number 9. See here, B. Awesome, guys. Awesome. You guys are killing it. I will say, if you guys are going through and trying to keep track of which ones you get right, I do have 30 questions for the tissues and 30 questions for the skin. So if you want to I got 28 out of 30, things like that, if you want to keep track, just to give yourself a little grade. Anyway, moving on to number 10. Which protein is most abundant in connective tissues and provides strength and support? What time do I usually start labs? Normally around 7 or 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I did go live this morning just because I had a little extra time. So been so helpful if I didn't have my test list there. So yeah, so sorry about that. Some people are on such different timelines when it comes to their exams and what topics are being covered. But anyway, you guys are correct. 10 is C. So let's move on to number 11 here. And we have which type of epithelial tissue is found in urinary bladder and allows for stretching? And I believe I did answer that question a little earlier if you were listening. Someone asked what transitional tissue was. But I'll go ahead and give you guys a couple seconds to answer that question. And I'll just make sure I didn't miss anybody's comments here. I don't think so. Tough one, Dan. Hi, Dan. How you doing? But 11 is D. It's transitional. So it allows it to stretch. And this is what allows you to hold more bladder. If your bladder didn't stretch, you'd have a lot of issues. You'd be going to the bathroom without prompt sometimes. I took this 2 years ago, and I still remember. That's awesome, yeah. Doing good. Enjoy learning about my body. That's fantastic, Dan. I'm very happy that I'm helping you learn about your body. That is true, the power of understanding versus memorizing. That's what I definitely focused on. But let's move on to number 12. Which of the following is not a function of epithelial tissue? Should be a pretty easy one. How do I explain conduction system in the heart? We can go over that after we do the practice questions. Yes, number 12 is C. We're going to find the questions to practice. They'll be on my Instagram and probably on my TikTok afterwards. All these questions will. What type of cartilage is found at the ends of the long bones in the trachea? We're on number 13 now. Thanks for following and sharing and liking the live, guys. That's awesome. You guys are awesome. Genuinely. You guys are freaking awesome. Will I going over any bones? I will not tonight. But if there's a popular request for it, if you guys send me emails or anything like that, I'd be more than happy to do a skeletal system live. But 13, I've been seeing some mixed answers. It's hyaline cartilage. Hyaline cartilage. Are we a little confused on that one? Do we need an explanation for that? I did see a couple different answers. So before I move on, I just want to make sure. Let me just make sure. Explain, please. Okay. So hyaline cartilage is, I'll put it in black here. It has like a network of collagen fibers. And it's meant to like support or reinforce cushion or resist compression. But hyaline cartilage is found in the ends of long bones and trachea. So it's meant to support and cushion. So like whenever you're jumping up and down, your hyaline cartilage is what's supporting your bones from clashing into each other. It's in the larynx. It's in the embryonic skeleton. If I like had to draw a quick one here, under a microscope, it in my mind kind of looks like this. Here it's like if you have this here. It kind of looks like this in a way. Like they're very clustered together. But that's kind of how they look under a microscope. There's like kind of bunches here. Like they're kind of bunched. That's the best way I can describe it. Alrighty. We love a smart guy, period queen. Hell yeah, period. Alrighty. Were we all good on that one? Losing sleep, learning about anatomy regardless of whether I'm in the targeted country. Yeah. No, oh my goodness. Anatomy, man, I would lay in my bed at night and constantly think about bones and stuff. And how do you memorize muscles? Real quick, I'll answer that and then we'll move on. Here. We'll move on to 14 and I'll answer that muscle question. What type of connective tissue forms tendons and ligaments? I'll let you guys answer that while I explain how to study muscles. So, for the lab portion, you're going to be focused more on labeling. So I would take all your pictures from lab, print them out, and cover up the answers and practice labeling them. Practice writing them too, because most of the time you're going to have to spell them out, and some muscles can be hard to spell. I'll admit to it. Even after 5 years of anatomy for me, I still have trouble spelling it. And then for insertion, action, origin, things like that, I made a chart for that. And then I would pretty much, like, my friend would ask me certain things and I would just use it. I had a friend ask me questions, like what's the insertion for the pectoralis major, and I would answer it. Things like that. And then make sure, the big thing for physiology of muscle is making sure you know the structure of the actual sarcomere. And then also knowing the physiology of muscle contraction. So I would go through and make your own little, your own little flow chart of the steps and stuff, and then go through and try to explain it out loud to somebody and see how much you can get right without looking at your notes and how much you can do it from memory. Alrighty, so that explains how to study muscles. But number 14, put it back to green, is B. It is dense regular. So how were we on that? I wasn't really looking at the comments to see how many people were getting right, but were we good on that one? What are we thinking on that one? Do we need an explanation? Just to make sure. Can you explain the difference between regular and irregular? So, dense regular connective tissue, it's more organized than like a parallel bundle. They're like, the fibers are more parallel to each other. It's like ligaments, tendons, and stuff. And then irregular are randomly arranged. So let's write this in here. These are parallel, and these are random. It's typically found in like the dermis. That's the big one. Dense irregular is in the dermis, or like joint capsules, things like that. So that's the big difference here. So dense regular, think of just like a regular person is like kind of in line with things, and irregular is like a little from the like out of the ordinary in a way. Yes, one direction or all directions. Yes, Kylie, that was a good one. Anyway, let's move on to number 15 here. Looking at what structure connects epithelial tissue to underlying connective tissues. Let's go through a couple questions here. Give you guys a couple more seconds to answer that. Desmosomes are they're like specialized cell junctions, like cell junction. They're mainly to prevent cells from like pulling apart. So from coming apart. Things like that. But anyway, the answer to 15 here is A. And we'll move on here. Which type of tissue has intercalated discs? Number 16. Ooh, I bumped my stand. Thanks for following, guys, and thanks for liking the live and sharing the live. If you share this out and stuff, we can definitely help more people for their exams coming up. Cardiac, guys. Cardiac. Definitely cardiac. You guys are correct. All right, number 17. Which of the following connective tissues is avascular, meaning it lacks blood vessels? So, while you guys answer that, desmosomes, someone asked, like, what are they? They are what's called a cadherin protein. Normally that's probably... So a desmosome is called... It's a cadherin protein. Just to make sure, hopefully. Vi or Vi. Hopefully that helped answer what it is. Does that help? Thanks for following. Thanks for sharing the live, guys. I'll give you the answer here in just a second. Let you guys answer. So 17 is C. Yes, thanks. Definitely need to look into this more before we get on this topic. Yeah, I don't think... I know a little... That's pretty much all I know about it. I don't think I've ever had to learn it in like any more detail than that. 18. Which type of gland releases its secretions directly into the bloodstream? Thanks for following, sharing, and liking the live, guys. You guys are incredible. I'll give you guys a couple seconds to answer this. Couple more seconds. What are we thinking? Exocrine, endocrine, holocrine, American. Dude, I just took that test today. Oh, well, it's too bad. It sucks you weren't seeing it beforehand. Alright, so the answer is endocrine. So real quick here, just because I did see some people get it wrong. Endocrine means it's directly into the bloodstream. So endo meaning in. Exo, it releases through ducts of like body surfaces or like ducts in the body and then body cavities. So this is like ducts. Like sweat glands, salivary glands, pancreas, things like that. Alrighty, moving on. Where am I getting these from? I'm making these from my class, just from my textbook. I'm so curious if learning Latin is a big thing at all from wherever you are. Not necessarily. Latin is just a big part of science. Where's your black bracelet? I got these as a gift one time. I don't remember. I got it for Christmas. I've had these for years. What textbook am I using? I'm using Gray's Anatomy. And then I'm using Costanzo's Physiology. They're linked on my website. I do offer tutoring. How do I get the study guide? It's on my website. But 19, I'll answer some questions here. But which connective tissue fiber provides elasticity and flexibility? But my study guides are on my website, and all the textbooks that I use are also on my website. If you go under the recommendations tab, I have them linked on Amazon. I start my anatomy class next week. So nervous. You'll be fine. You got this. Just study. Just work hard. You'll be great. How many questions are there? There's 30 questions on the tissues, and there's 30 questions on the integumentary system. So it'll be 60 questions total. But anyway, I'll give you the answer here. The answer is C, elastin. Let's move on to number 20 here. Which of the following is a characteristic of pseudostratified columnar epithelium? Where that pseudostratus means false. Number 20 is B. Appears to be layered, but is actually a single layer. Yes, that is why. So, falsely layered. Is anatomy a class you can take in high school, or is it post-high school? Anyone doing pre-med? So, anatomy is a high school class. I did not take it in high school. I took it in undergrad. I have a practical tomorrow. Loki. Oh, hey, Brianna. Good luck on your practical. So it's undergrad, graduate school, nursing school has it, medical school. I took undergrad and graduate school anatomy and physiology. So I did my anatomy and physiology actually with the medical students. We're gonna find this practice test. It'll be on my Instagram, and I'll post it to TikTok as well. So my homework has a lot of tricky word. Yeah, it's typically, a lot of AMPs normally for like nursing prereqs. Yes. The undergraduate anatomy that I took was kind of a combo for pre-med anatomy. Nursing and then exercise science. I can post a blank copy of the test. But anyway, let's move on here to number 21. Which type of cell junction prevents molecules from passing between epithelial cells? Give you guys a couple seconds to answer that one. Thanks for following, guys. Thanks for joining and liking the live. Thanks for sharing the live. You guys are awesome. This has been so much fun. I'm having a great time, and I hope you guys are too. I'm hoping this is helping a lot as well. All right, so some answers here. The answer is C, tight junctions. That's correct. To 19, elastin. 20, my bad. B, appears to be layered, but is actually a single layer because it's pseudo-stratified. Pseudo means false. So it falsely looks like it's layered. Number 22, which type of connective tissue contains a liquid matrix instead of fibers? Where can you find this? It'll be on my Instagram, and I'll probably post it to TikTok afterwards as well, by popular demand. Where can I get this practice test? Do I provide them, or only through live? I do put them on my Instagram. I'm going to start putting them on my TikTok by popular request, So you guys can screenshot, download these, things like that. What's my Instagram? It's the same as my TikTok, so it's medzeg.ollie. All right, and the number 22, the answer is C, blood. So blood is actually connective tissue. I have an exam this week on tissues and cell types. Good luck on your exam. You got this. You definitely got this. Just keep working. Keep studying. You got it. But anyway, 23. What is the primary function of fibroblasts in connective tissue? Give you guys a couple seconds to answer that one. Number 23. I have an exam on muscle tissue on Tuesday. Good luck, Adriana. I know muscles can be rough. Muscles were... I thought I've always been into... Do I have these practice questions on the website? They're not on my website. They're on my Instagram. My study guides are on my website. But I'll put these questions on my TikTok as well. Alrighty, I'm seeing some answers here, and the answer is B. Looks like most of you got that right. So creating extracellular matrix components. Yes, I will put the answers on it. I'll put all the notes that I have on it as well. Working towards respiratory therapy right now. Oh, I know a couple people who do respiratory therapy, and they really enjoy it. I'm back from my neuroscience exam. I think I failed it. Oh no, that's not good. I'm sorry to hear about that. Hopefully you didn't. Maybe I'll try to manifest you a better grade. But what was your neuroscience exam on? But anyway, moving on to 24. Which layer of the basement membrane is secreted by epithelial cells? Working towards radiology technology. Oh, that's awesome. I hear a lot of people are moving towards that right now. I've heard it's actually like a pretty good career. I didn't hear about it till like a year ago, and I looked into it because I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds cool. It does sound really cool. It sounds like a great job, a great career. That is something that that's definitely a career that I would recommend. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you for sending the TikToks. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Loading. You are awesome. The 19 TikToks. Thank you so much. You are incredible. Yeah, I'll post it on my TikTok page. I've been getting a lot of questions about that. Is there any way to practice this test without the answers? I saw your other ones and yeah, I didn't think about that actually. Whenever I was posting the blank exam, but I'll put the blank exams up. Neurophysiology, brain anatomy, and neurochemistry. Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. That's rough. Well, I need to become an ultrasound tech? Yes. You will probably need anatomy and physiology for that. Thank you, Loading. Appreciate you. You're a G. Yeah. Oh, man. I have no words. You guys are just so kind and giving and... but anyway, here did we answer? Thank you. This is chapter 4 in my textbook, and I make great practice. Yep. What are my thoughts on perfusion? I actually do know somebody who is a perfusionist, and they love that job. They make great money. I think it's like a specific degree. I don't know much about the schooling. I know it's very specific and specialized, but they love it. You do need to take psychology for studying medicine. Biopsychology, probably a little more specialized. It's probably like something else you can take. But did we answer the question here to 24? I'll give you guys the answer now. It's the basal lamina. The basal lamina is what is secreted by epithelial cells. Do you also have these type of muscle? I can make them. I don't have them yet. But I can make some questions. I'm not so worried about this again. That's good. Is ANP2 easier or the same? Well, I think that ANP2... It kind of depends. ANP2 is a lot more... Anyway, while I answer this question, 25 is which connective tissue acts as a cushion and insulator beneath the skin? ANP2 is a lot more physiology-based, so I think there's a lot more like kind of working through processes and stuff, and that's like kind of difficult in its own way, making sure that you really understand the content. And ANP1 is more a lot more memorization. So it kind of depends. I think ANP1 is easy. I don't know. I thought ANP2 was a lot easier. Alrighty. Alright, so 25 is D. Adipose tissue. As remember, adipose tissue or fat is an insulator. Moving on, I'll leave the questions up a little bit more. But number 26, what is the function of mast cells in connective tissue? Give you guys a couple seconds to answer that question. Couple seconds to answer the question. But yeah, I personally liked ANP2 a lot more than ANP1 for some reason, which I didn't think would be the case because I'm really good at memorizing things. So I thought I would enjoy it. Where do I have those answers? The answers will be on my Instagram and TikTok. Can I scroll up some? Yes. I'll scroll up for a couple of seconds here. Sorry about that. Yeah. Oh, scroll up. Oh, okay. My bad. I'm scrolling the wrong way. So sorry about that. Alrighty. So the answer to this one is B. It secretes histamine and heparin. I've heard studying med in the US is so much more brutal than the UK. I've heard that too. It is brutal here. It is rough. Have my first A&P lab on Thursday. Super stressed. Gonna watch your videos. Awesome. Yeah, I do have some lab videos on my TikTok. I've recently made them within the last week or two. So hey, how you doing, Naomi? What was the best study method for me? What did I do every day? Honestly, I kind of used a combination of things. I really think that my study philosophy was I always spent, but anyway, I got some, when do I start the skeletal unit? Probably tomorrow or Thursday we can go through that. I don't study, I'm still passing. Oh gosh. Don't be a bad influence on people. But 27 real quick is, oh wait, hold on, some people were asking. So my big thing when I was studying anatomy was I always previewed my lectures the day before or the morning of. My philosophy going to class should never really be new information. It should always be like kind of a review or reinforcement. It only takes like 20 or 30 minutes to go through before class. And then after class, during class I didn't take notes. I put my PowerPoint slides on my iPad and I would write over them. Things like that. What an explanation. So mast cells, they do secrete histamine and heparin. Let me see, I'm trying to read some comments here. Sorry. But mast cells aren't really they're immune cells, yes. But they're more so in terms of they don't really perform phagocytosis. That's the function of macrophages. So mast cells are part of the immunity response and inflammation response. So histamine and heparin are gonna be responsible for that. So histamine causes vasodilation, which means it's gonna widen blood vessels, increasing the permeability, which is what causes swelling and redness. And then heparin is an anticoagulant, which is what prevents blood clotting. And it doesn't carry oxygen. It doesn't produce collagen. Collagen is produced by fibroblasts. Anyway, 27. Which of the following statements about epithelial tissue is false? But I made my notes in a way that it was kind of like a mind palace in a way. So like let me make sure I didn't miss any questions. I'm dying though. No caveats. Previews is key. Yes. Has anyone taken A&P online and passed? I can start doing that. How do I get these questions? I make them myself. Do you know if there's any online quizzes on this stuff? Just for fun? I don't know. I normally just make them myself. I kind of enjoy. I always loved anatomy and physiology. But I'm sure like you can have ChatGPT or something make you some questions, things like that. What is the key to passing anatomy? Anatomy specifically is how or what it's what or where something is. So for what, excuse me, I had a hiccup. So I'll answer this. I guess I need to tune these lives more often then. Yeah, thank you. I would appreciate it if you did. So anatomy is kind of like what and where things are. So for what things are, always make flashcards. And then for where things are, take images and practice labeling them. And then for physiology, practice explaining and describing how things work. That's kind of like the main thing. But for your notes, they definitely want to be the most condensed form. And they should just be used for reference. So like, if this was your topic, like, what is the function of mast cells and connective tissues? And you want to know it secretes histamine and heparin, you should be able to read that, look away, and repeat it out loud without looking. That's kind of how I always remembered physiology. But anyway, which of the following statements about epithelial tissues is false? The answer to that one is A. It is highly vascularized. Epithelial tissue is it's avascular. Form follows function. Yes, sir. That's a great thing. These look very similar to how my professor creates questions. Yeah, I tried to make them pretty similar to test questions I've had in the past. I do have all my old exams. I don't share all my old exams just because of like the just academic integrity. In my notes and study guides, I have questions that are very, like these questions and the questions in my notes are very similar, but they're in my own words and stuff. And they're kind of just reverse one way or the other. Vascularized means it has blood vessels. Do I do microbiology? I can. I don't right now. If you guys send me an email on what you want to see from microbiology, I can start getting my stuff together for that. Yes, we're on 28 now. Let's go to which of the following muscle tissues is multinucleated? Do I have one for the integumentary system? Yes, I do have a study guide for the integumentary system. And then following question 30 here, we're going to move on to integumentary questions. Alrighty, give you guys a couple more seconds. Anatomy is pretty hard, yeah. It depends. I don't think high school anatomy is very hard. I've seen some content on it. I think it's pretty like base level knowledge. Undergraduate is pretty difficult. It's like kind of intermediate difficulty, I think. I think if you put in the work, you're going to be fine. Graduate school, medical school anatomy, things like that, it is hard. They're going to really drill you with hard questions. My grad school anatomy was freaking brutal. I was always studying. I had no life that year. Oh my goodness. I took a clinical and medical anatomy and physiology. Could I do a video going through the different type of tissues? I just joined the live and I have. Yeah, I can do a video on the different type of tissues for sure. But anyway, which of the following muscle tissues is multinucleated? Yeah, no problem. What about neurology? I'm not in medical school. I'm doing I just finished my master's. I'm trying to get into a PhD program right now. I've been interviewing actually lately, so. But anyway, the answer to 28 is A. Skeletal tissue is multinucleated. There was actually just a recent study at a 2024 that talked about like muscle memory and stuff, and whenever you grow and repair muscle, it creates more nuclei. So muscle memory is a lot more of a thing. Oh no, I'm late. Oh, sorry. I'm going to post these afterwards on my Instagram, TikTok. I haven't gone through the integumentary system yet. I've only gone through just tissues, and we're kind of at the end of it. Hold on one sec. Just want to touch my screen here. Make sure everything is good. Alrighty. Thank you, man. I feel like I have no life right now. Yeah, no, I had no life when I was in anatomy, especially grad school anatomy. I did nothing. I worked full-time, and I was a full-time student. I had no life. I did nothing fun for like 5 months straight. 29. What is the primary functional difference between dense regular and dense irregular connective tissue? We kind of talked about this one a little earlier. So I'll give only a couple seconds for this one because we did talk about it a little earlier. But that is why it's important to always kind of know why certain answers are wrong in previous questions, because it can give away the answer to questions later on in your exam. That was like a test-taking strategy that I recommend, but the answer is B. But anyway, that's a test-taking strategy I recommend. Like kind of what we're doing here, where we like write in different vascular, meaning blood vessels, or ducts or bloodstream, like things like that, or just writing in like that. It can definitely help for later if you have the time, especially. But last question here. We're on number 30. These are the answer keys. But which type of tissue is responsible for forming the stroma, which is a supportive framework of organs such as the spleen and lymph nodes? Yeah, the first couple questions will be on here on TikTok and Instagram. I think might be my teacher to get into TikTok lives with how much I'm learning today. Oh yeah, that would be great. I'm glad you're learning. That's awesome. Has helped a lot. People making contents would save me, honestly. Yeah, I'm glad that this is helping. It makes me very happy to hear that it is helping. Alrighty. The answer is C. It is reticular connective tissue. Coincidentally, I studied histology today. That's great, yeah. A lot of people have been requesting it, so I was assuming that everyone was kind of around this chapter, although like a lot of people have different, they're going over different sections here and there. Everyone's schedule is very different, I'm learning this year. But anyway here, that was the end of, I'm learning here more in my, I'm trying to do that. I would definitely love to be a professor one day. That's definitely a big reason why I want to get my PhD. I definitely want to do research, but I also, I love anatomy, and I know it's hard, and I like making it easier for people. But that was the end of the tissues, and I do have, we'll start here in just in a minute or so, but we're going to move on to the integumentary system. So I have another 30 questions here. Please do it. You'll be an amazing teacher. Thank you. Thank you. That truly means the world to me. You guys are so kind, and you could make me cry. It'll be a post on Instagram, Aubrey. What would be the best way to remember the steps for intramembranous and endochondral ossification? So I do have a mnemonic. I would explain intramembranous ossification. I didn't really find that hard, but it's boys can't pee during erections for endochondral ossification. I'm going to abbreviate that. I'll answer this real quick, and then we'll go into the integumentary system. But anyway, the mnemonic for that, I just posted my notes for that chapter, actually. But this is where you have bone collar formation. I'm just going to abbreviate. This is cavitation. This is where cavities form. Periosteal budding. Abbreviate plus spongy bone formation. During is diaphysis elongation. This is when medullary cavities form. Cavity. And then erections for epiphysis ossification. So this is when like the epiphyseal plate only has cartilage left. So I'm just gonna abbreviate that. So that's how there. All right. Anyway, number 1. What is the outermost layer of the skin? What is the outermost layer of the skin? I'm trying to go live every day. My Instagram here is... Hold on, I'm going to let you guys answer that real quick. I'm going to look back at comments because I was writing, so I missed a lot. But this is my Instagram. You want to see? No, honestly, my professor acts like we've been studying this for years, and it's so frustrating. You're doing. I'm trying to, Kate. I really appreciate that. No, that's my big frustration. Whenever I was in especially like chemistry professors, bro. Oh my god, dude, they act like you're like a PhD, like Oppenheimer or something. Like it's insane, dude. I would ask like, oh man, yeah. Some professors really do act like that. It's very frustrating. I luckily had a couple different anatomy professors, and I had one that was just amazing. But anyway, can I go back to what I just wrote? Yes. It'll also be on the it'll be on my TikTok and Instagram as well afterwards. But number 1 is C, epidermis. I'm going to leave that up for just another second here, and I'm going to move on. Now, for anyone ever questions everyone missing, it tells us we're dumb for missing them. That's insane work. That is not cool. Now, I would never do that. That's not the point, man. You got to go over questions that people miss. Real quick, but number 2, which protein provides strength and waterproofing to the skin? Anyway, no, it's just, it's ridiculous. Like, there's a reason why. Like, the point is like, that helps you as, like, a lecture as well. When you figure out why people are getting things wrong, you can kind of learn, like, oh, I need to explain that a little bit better, or I need to clarify that a little more in my PowerPoint slides. Thank you so much for this, and no problem. But number 2 here, we're going to have keratin. That's the answer there. Number 3, which layer of the epidermis contains cells undergoing mitosis? Give you guys a couple more seconds to answer that one. Thanks so much for this. Yeah, no problem. Too easy. Yeah, these they start a little easier and get a little harder as we go along. Per the chapter. 3 is B. Number 4, what pigment determines skin color? Thanks for following, thanks for liking the live, guys, and thanks for sharing. You guys are incredible. Really appreciate you guys. Yes, melanin. Awesome, guys. You guys are smart. What is the primary function of sebaceous glands? Anyway, some people were mentioning that they were going over if there's anything you want me to go over in terms of, like, if you had a practice exam or something and you were confused, if you want to send it to me, I'll do a live or I'll make a video on some of the questions and we can go through. And we can do, like, some detailed explanations and things like that. I'd be more than happy to do that. But the answer to this is B, produce oil or sebum. Moving on here to number 6. Which of the following is not a function of the skin? Not a function. Bones, yeah, I'll probably end up doing bones tomorrow or Thursday or something. A lot of people have been requesting some bones too, but it's a lot of, oh my god, this is a chapter on my unit exam this week. Awesome, yes, I'm glad that this is amazing. But it is C, it's hormone production. The skin does not secrete hormones. Temperature regulation, which is where it's in the sweating gland, that's in the sweat glands. The epidermis and the dermis protect. And then sensory perception, you have nerves that sense pressure. Can I do joints next? Yeah, I can definitely do joints. How do I study to memorize everything? So for memorizing terms, I make flashcards. For memorizing where things are, I practice labeling. And for memorizing physiology, I will read something and I'll look away and see if I can explain it in my own words without looking at the material that I just read from. But some people already answered B, so I'll read the question and give the answer. How long do I typically go live for? Probably about like an hour to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. 7. Which type of sweat gland is found in the axillary and groin regions and becomes active during puberty? And that is B, apicon. A lot of you have been answering that. Thank you. I do upload the answer key to my Instagram. And I'll probably start putting these on TikTok here as well. But it's medzeg.ollie. But anyway, move on to number 8 here. What is the name of the muscle that causes goosebumps? Yes, I make my own practice tests. Rectopili. Yes, that is correct. Sorry for all the questions. Can't Google. Yeah, no, that's okay. That's what I'm here for. I'm definitely here to answer questions as well. More than happy to. Number 9. Which of the following layers is not found in thin skin? I normally just take a look at my notes and PowerPoint slides and I look at some of my old exams. I can't release my old exams just because of academic integrity and things like that. I'd get in trouble as a TA. But I can make practice exam very similar to it. So, Anyway, number 9, the answer is C. It is the stratum lucidum. I need to remember the order of the skins. A great way to remember it is come, let's get sunburned. This is a great way to remember the layers. So you have corneum, lucidum, granulosum, spinosum, and so. This is a great one, I think, especially because come, let's get sunburned. Yeah, I can definitely make some more practice exams, but come, let's get sunburned. And because, you get sunburned under your skin, so that's why I've always thought that was a great mnemonic. What type of number 10 now. What type of sunburn only damages the epidermis? What type of sunburn only damages the epidermis? It's first degree through second degree. Give you guys a couple more seconds. You guys are correct. Ooh, I'm sorry, I keep bumping my monitor stand. How can I prepare before starting anatomy and physiology? Do you know medical terminology is taught first? I would definitely recommend going on Quizlet and finding find some Quizlets on medical terminology and anatomical terminology and practice that. That's a great way to start. Just learning some basic anatomy. But anyway, number 11, which vitamin is synthesized by the skin when exposed to UV light? Vitamin D, yes, D. That is correct. D for D. It's the mnemonic was come, let's get sunburned. Anyway, number 12, what is the thickest layer of the skin? My website is Medzeg. It's on Squarespace. I use Squarespace, but you can go to my TikTok, go to my profile, and it's the first link in there. It should just be Medzeg. What is the thickest layer? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of different answers here. But the dermis is the thickest layer. The dermis is the thickest layer. Were we confused on that one? Okay. Hypodermis is the deepest. This is where we're talking about the thickest layer. The epidermis is very much, it's thinner. So the hypodermis isn't technically considered part of the skin itself because it's the adipose tissue. The epidermis is avascular. Stratum corneum is incorrect because this is part of the epidermis. And it's made up of dead skin. The corneum is made up of dead skin. It's thicker because of it has reticular connective tissue. Dermis is how tattoos stay. Yep. It has reticular connective tissue. Yes, that is why. Which I guess that kind of answers the question on the next part. But which type of connective tissue primarily makes up the dermis? And I did answer that one. But it's be dense irregular. I'm gonna do that. Make sure how we doing here. 14. You were answering 14. What is the function of melanocytes? That's correct. It's C. Produce melanin. Good job, guys. Number 15. What type of cell primarily makes up the epidermis? What type of tissue primarily makes up the epidermis? How often do I go live? Do I pick a topic or system each day? I typically do by popular demand on topics. I'm seeing some A's and B's here. The answer is B, stratified. It's because it's layered. So remember, stratified means layered. Simple means one layer. So simple stratified is going to be in like, oh geez, it looks like one layer. So just remember, simple and stratified. That's the big difference there. Simple means one layer. It's very thin, very, very thin. It's great for diffusion. Which you do not want. You don't want things going in and out of your skin. Thank you for helping us. Yeah, no problem. Anyway, moving on to 16. Which part of the hair is actively growing? Yes, it does. So, give me 1 second, guys. So for squamous, I'm going to ask, can you explain squamous? So yeah, squamous means flat. So it's a layer of flat tissue. Either thin, flat, things like that. But number 16, I'm seeing a lot of different ones here. Give you guys a couple more seconds. The answer is actually C. The bulb is what's actively growing. The bulb is what's active. The shaft here, this is what's visible. Yes. But it is composed of dead keratinized cells, so it does not grow. So dead keratinized cells. The root is part of the hair that extends past the bulb. It is still like part of growing, but it's not the main growing site. But the bulb is what's actively growing. This is where cell division occurs. So when we're thinking about growing means cell division. And this is where cell division occurs. This is the outermost layer, which it protects hair. Does that clarify that one by chance? Hey, can I check my message interview? Yeah, I can check my DMs. So I've got a lot of DMs last night that I haven't had a chance to answer, so I apologize for not answering yet. Do I have any AMP2 questions? I do. Do I offer tutoring? I do offer tutoring, yes. And I do both. Do I do AMP2 questions? Yes, I do. Today we're not doing it. I can definitely do some AMP2 questions in another live stream. We're moving on to number 17 here. Which layer of the dermis contains Meissner corpuscles? And they detect touch. They detect touch. What layer? Did I make the questions myself? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. saying thanks for following and thanks for liking the live and everything, guys. I really appreciate it. But this correct answer for 17 is B, papillary layer. That's just kind of a memorization question. Hello, Mel. I definitely recommend that kind of being more so like a memorization thing, just memorizing like where that is. Yeah, here we can do so. Meissner's. They detect light touch on like texture of things. So if like something's like kind of sharp or grainy. And then Pacinian, this is deep touch and vibration, like deep pressure, I should say. Plus like vibrations. If I was wanting to, how would I be able to contact you? I have my email on my website. You can email me there, and then I have you can DM me if you'd like. I definitely prefer if you do email. A lot of people, I will say that if I miss a DM, I'm really sorry. Sometimes people spam me with DMs on like, and they just send like emojis and they don't send anything. And sometimes I get I miss questions on my DMs, so that's why I always try to recommend you go to my email. DM is perfectly fine, but email kind of filters that stuff out. So I do check my spam, but that's kind of why I prefer email. Very informed following. Thank you. Thank you, Terry. I really appreciate it. I'm glad this is informative. But anyway, 18. What substance gives hair and nails their strength? What structure gives hair and nails their strength? D. Yep, that is correct. It is keratin. Alrighty. Number 19. Which gland is responsible for earwax production? I just saw a lot of comments. If I missed your comment, feel free to put it in there again so I can definitely see it. If I miss it, I'm sorry. Sometimes my comments load slow and sometimes they load really fast, so sometimes I might miss a question or two. Number 19 is B. Correct. Ceruminous gland. Yes, Dash. That's the great way to put it. Number 20. What is the function of the Langerhans cell in the epidermis? Yeah, I'm going to post it to my Instagram afterwards. Zig.ollie. And probably on TikTok as well. The answer is B. Provide immune defense. Do I do anything to help with the CCMA test? Not currently, but I can. Definitely send me an email of what you'd like to see for it. And I can definitely figure something out for that. I don't have any of my own resources for that currently, but I have no problem getting stuff together for that. I have a lot of people who are in charge of like taking care of stuff like that. So these are specialized immune cells. So they're found in the epidermis, more so the corneum. Or I'm sorry, no, not the corneum, the spinosum, my bad. They're antigen-presenting cells, which means that they are responsible for detecting pathogens. But keratin It does not produce keratin, does not produce melanin, does not detect pressure. Merkel cells and mechanoreceptors, such as the Pacinian cells we just went over, go over pressure. So these don't. So if you know that they're specialized immune cells, these are going to be what's responsible for immune defense. Hopefully I didn't miss any questions. These spelling 20. So the functions of them are, so these are the functions. They are for immune surveillance. They're antigen presenting cells. So APCs. So that detects pathogens. And then they also have inflammation response. I'm going to abbreviate that. Are you just doing skin today? Can I do bones? I am just doing the skin. I did the tissues and the skin today. Tomorrow I'm going to do bones. I'll do bones tomorrow. Is it named after whoever discovered them? I believe so. Most of the time things are discovered after someone who gets them. That's why, honestly, guys, I want to become a researcher. I would love to discover something and name it after myself. Like an Ollie cell. Come on now. What time tomorrow? I'll probably do one in the morning. Probably the morning. I'm thinking so Eastern Standard Time. I was thinking 10 a.m. What does everyone think about that? I do have plans later. We need you all day. I know, right? Jenny said Ollie cell. Exactly, yeah, no, I would love to name something after an Ollie cell or, 12, please. I definitely need to do earlier in the day, Eastern Standard Time. I can't do it at night tomorrow, so noon, okay. I have class at 10. What about 10 a.m.? Good then. I have class at... Are you able to create... I do have a mnemonic. I actually just went over that one a little earlier. Give me one sec. Endochondral ossification is boys can't pee during erections. The B is for bone collar formation. C is for the cavitation. P is for periosteal budding and spongy bone formation during his diaphysis elongation, which creates the medullary cavity. And erections for epiphysis ossification, where hyaline cartilage is only present in the epiphyseal plates. It's 1:30. Early in the day. Yeah, you can use this to prepare for the T's. I'm going to read another question here now, and then I'll answer some questions. Which layer of the epidermis contains keratohyalin granules and helps with waterproofing? Are you able to do one with pharmacy? Yeah, I can do one with pharmacy. I was a pharmacy tech all through school, so I was a pharmacy technician for 5 years. So I'm in Eastern Standard Time, so I do know a lot about pharmacology. I've been kind of working to getting some stuff together for that, actually. Let me make sure I didn't miss any questions. Are these practice questions available to us? Yes, they're going to be on my Instagram and probably my TikTok. I have class from 10:40 to 2, but I could watch into class. I'll probably do 10, and then maybe I'll extend it a little longer. I'll do bones tomorrow morning. So what I might end up doing is just to make sure that everyone gets their fill, because I see some people saying noon. I might do the same thing twice in a way, potentially, but I'll probably just do a longer test so that some people at noon can get some of this and things like that. Make sure. Do I go live daily? I'm going to try to, yes. I'll be going live again tomorrow. Number 21, the answer to that is the granulosum. So B. Are we all good on that one? I have to take my... Yes, my chapter 5 notes do go over this. Good luck on your T's. Also, if you do get my notes or anything like that, and they don't have anything that you're missing, like a certain little topic, just let me know, and I will remake the note and I will send it to you. I will. Yeah, we can explain this one real quick. So this is where cell division occurs. So like mitosis. But does not contain keratin hyaline granules. The stratum corneum. This is the outermost layer, as we remember. And this is where dead fully, put fully in all capitals to emphasize, fully keratinized cells are. And the stratum spinosum is, we have desmosomes and Langerhans cells. But the granulosum. So think of granular means it contains like proteins. Keratin is a protein. This is what helps bundle the keratin filaments together. They have lamellar bodies, and this is where cell apoptosis occurs, which means the cells die and flatten. So does that answer the question there? Are we good to move on? You reminded me that I have a lab test tomorrow. I'm sorry for reminding you. Gosh. I would see this after my practical. I'm so sorry about that. Sorry, guys. Yes. All right, you guys are already answering number 22, so I'll go ahead and read the question. Which type of sensory receptor in the skin detects deep pressure and vibration? We went over that a little bit earlier, so I'll only give you just a couple more. Where do we get these practice tests? I make them myself, and I post them. Yes, we did talk about this before, so I'll just answer it. I'll just circle this one real quick. We went over the difference in Meissner's and Pacini. So this is like light touch, and this was deep pressure. Number 23. What is the major structural protein in the dermis? Number 23. Structural protein in the dermis. So the answer is C, collagen. Collagen is what's mainly present. That's the major structural protein in the dermis. I do have Anatomy 2 study guides, yes. I don't have all of my AP1 study guides up yet. That's just solely because like my professor skipped over a couple things that I would like to add back in to make sure that they're as thorough as they can be. Number 24, what condition is characterized by a lack of melanin production? Number 24. Give you guys a couple seconds here. B. Where are the Anatomy 2s at? They are a little farther down on the website. They're a little farther down. It should just be under the like if you go to the website and you go to Shop Study Guides and go under Anatomy and Physiology 2, there's a bundle at the end of the AP1 stuff, and then it goes from like chapter 17 all the way to chapter 28. Let me look at the questions real quick. B4.3. Sorry, some of your questions are loading still. So we'll go over this one. Some of you guys are asking why these ones are wrong. So vertigo, this is an autoimmune condition. And there is patchy loss of pigment, but there are some, but unlike albinism, there's still some pigmentation. So that's like kind of one of those like crappy technical questions in a way, where it's like there's some pigmentation, but albinism is complete lack of. So I guess maybe the question could be worded a little better. That one I would probably accept that answer, but yeah, jaundice is billow, so it would make yellow skin, and cyanosis would give it a blue tint. So yellow and blue. But I can see how that can be a little confusing, yeah. But it's more so an autoimmune condition where there's patchy losses of it's like patchy. Hope that answers the question. Heard, okay, that makes sense. Gotcha. Getting crazy at deja vu right now. Can I go through respiratory system? Not today, but I can. Maybe Thursday, perhaps. Oh, shoot. I keep forgetting I have some of these questions. Yeah, you can download these practice tests. They're going to be on my Instagram and TikTok afterwards. But yeah, I guess cyanosis array. I answered the question. I keep doing that by accident. But anyway, I can move on. These are the last 5 questions here. But what type of skin cancer is the most dangerous due to its ability to metastasize quickly? It's very fast. Very fast. Give you guys a couple more seconds. 26. I kind of showed 25. This is C, but yeah, here. 25 was a cyanosis. But 27, which of the following is not a phase of wound healing? Oh wait, did I circle the wrong one? Am I tripping right now? Could have swore I see melanoma. 27, which of the following is not a phase of wound healing? Is C, fibrosis. Are we good on that one, or do we want to kind of talk about that one? I saw a couple different answers for it. I know some people were saying inflammation phase, but inflammation phase is where it drives immune cells there to clean up debris. All right, I can go through this one. Sorry, guys. Any questions? Please talk about it. It's not necessarily healing, but there's 4 phases of it. So there is a hemostasis phase. This is the immediate response. This is like blood clotting. So let's do like injury. So the injury has happened. So we've had our injury. So the first thing here is hemostasis. So this is where platelets aggregate blood clotting formation. So this is blood clot. And then it moves on to the inflammation phase. So this is where white blood cells start to clean up the wound and fight the infection. It's going to get red, and that's what causes redness and swelling due to the increased blood flow. Then there's the proliferative phase, which is where new blood cells are starting to form, granulation tissue is coming, and then there's the maturation or remodeling, which is where collagen fibers realign, scar tissue forms. So that would be why fibrosis is not a part of that. Did that answer the question? You got it now? Yes. Fantastic. The third step is... So I'll write down the steps here. So... hemostasis. Inflammatory response. Third one is the proliferative. And 4 is maturation, or sometimes some people call it remodeling. That's the one that I normally refer to as remodeling, but some people call it maturation. But anyway, number 28. Which connective tissue connects the skin to underlying muscles? Number 3 is not necessarily destroying things. That's where like angiogenesis which supply nutrients, so new blood vessels are forming, and then granulation tissue starting to form to fill the wound. But number 28, seeing all you guys are getting it right, is the hypodermis. So which skin condition is caused by excessive collagen deposition leading to a thickened, tight skin? Give you guys a couple seconds to answer this one. You guys are awesome. You guys are killing it, genuinely. So proud of you guys. C. What autoimmune disorder, number 30 now, what autoimmune disorder leads to destruction of melanocytes resulting in white patches of the skin? Someone said they didn't learn about this one. Some classes do and some classes don't. I specifically didn't need to know this, but some do. So if you didn't know this one, I wouldn't be worried about it unless it's in your notes or on your lectures. I've just seen it for some people. It was a question someone actually asked me during tutoring, and I had to look it up. I didn't even know. But the answer is C, vertigo, which we went over a little earlier. All right, well, that was all the questions. What was my favorite subject and chapter in AP1? I really enjoyed the tissue chapter. I had a lot of fun with that. I also really enjoy the nervous system. I like learning about it as well. I think my favorite system, though, in all AP1 and AP2, bones we're going to do live tomorrow, 10 a.m. So I'm going to put 10 a.m. tomorrow. I'll just put the date. 15th. EST. We're going to do bones. I'm doing bones tomorrow. Oh, no. I came in literally perfectly studying the integumentary system now. Literally my least favorite and challenging. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And my favorite, though, is cardiovascular. I had so much fun doing that one. Even though it's, like, insanely difficult, I would say my least favorite was respiratory system. I was very unaware of all the different... whatever. Yeah, just, like, all the physiology for that. Yeah, it was a killer for me. That was rough. I do the quiz. Awesome. So tissues. I'm gonna do a little blank slide here because you guys are gonna ask some questions now. So the way that I always remember it. So if you think of, so we'll do this for tissue. Simple squamous. Diffusion is the function, and it's seen in the lungs. The way that I think about it is I learn the tissues, and I kind of like learn them this way first, and then. So learn them this way. So learn. And then I would memorize kind of backwards. So the way I would think about it, so simple squamous, its function is to diffuse, like one of the functions is diffusion, and it's found in the lungs. Lungs, what is the purpose of it? It's gas exchange. So you want things to diffuse really easily across the membrane. So lungs, what are we doing here? Gas exchange. We want gas exchange to diffuse and occur easily, and simple squamous is one layer of flat cells. So that's how I recommend studying the tissues. Learn them from small to large, and then memorize from large to small. That's the way I did it. That was the best way for me to do it. Not looking forward to biology in the case. I learned a lot. Awesome. I'm glad you learned. What's the best way to study? So I always broke anatomy and physiology down separately. So anatomy is what and where. Physiology was how. And I guess why not? Because of dysfunction and pathology. That's why I always think. So what flashcard use to describe what terms are. Where practice labeling. Honestly, I cannot recommend practicing labeling. Practice over and over again until you cannot get it wrong. How? I had a great study partner for anatomy. So we were constantly practice explaining from memory out loud or writing it down. Like for example, like right now, let's just whip it out here. Let's go through blood flow through the heart. So visually and auditory, so right atrium, right ventricle, left atria, left ventricle, and then it's my crappy heart. And we'll get blue. And then we have, let's just say we got our lungs. It kind of looks very sus, but fissures. And then we have the aorta. But anyway, so if we're doing the physiology, which is blood through the heart, blood flow is going to come into the right atria from the superior and inferior vena cava. Going to go from the right atrium to the right ventricle, through the pulmonary arteries to the lungs where gas exchange occurs. Going to come back through the pulmonary vein into the left atria, left ventricle, aorta, and out to the rest of the body, and then back again. So that's kind of how I would study physiology. Like, learn this process, try to draw it out, something like similar to that, explain it out loud to somebody. So that's kind of how, this is what I would do. So again, we have normal blood flow, right? So then once you learn the normal physiology is when you go into pathology. So we can go through, like, what makes this not work? Like, so that's kind of like the why not. Like, why is this not working? Why not working? Why is it not working? And then we can go into what happens if why not. So that's kind of how your studying should be oriented. Can you describe them? I do have a video on that on my profile, actually. I have a whole flow chart. Let me see. Make sure I didn't miss any questions real quick. Yeah, I don't really have any too good mnemonics for tissues. You're a very good teacher. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you so much. Yeah, no problem. Do I study with practice questions or do I read the book? I like reading textbooks, so I do. You definitely don't. What sort of stuff does microbiology include? Honestly, microbiology includes a lot, let me tell you. So micro is like biology, viruses, fungi. So you're going to learn like the different classifications of each of those. What their types are, like what they do, structures, functions, things like that. We'll probably go over genetics and a little bit of biotech. You're probably going to go through like metabolism of like those things, pathologies of it. Micro is such an intense course. Do you think it matters where you obtain your bio degree from when applying to professional school? I think it depends on the program. If you want to get into like any medical school, I don't think it matters. But if you want to get into like top-notch medical schools or professional schools, you probably want to try to go to a better, like more reputable school. I think it kind of depends on like, it's a little more holistic than that. Right now, I'm my CNS. Oh man, that's rough. I like to play Coots. Yes, the iPad does help me with keeping my notes organized. Because you can just move things around and whatnot, like the lasso tool. Like if I didn't like this here, I can move it over here. Things like that. And then if I, mess something up, I can easily erase it. If I'm like, oh crap, I didn't need to, I can undo it. I think I do have a couple videos with tissues. I think it's a little farther down. This is good notes. What was the most confusing part of the heart for me? I would say maybe initially probably like the electrical properties in a way where we were going over, like the diagram here of like the action potential, probably like the action potential or whatever. I can't draw it very well. But the action potential of cardiac muscle, is what I had probably the most trouble with learning. Does it get easier anatomy too? I think it's very different. What do I need to say for the T's? I can get some information on that, but I have the second generation 12.9 inch. I want my notes to be aesthetically pleasing, but not yet. My midterm. Good luck on your midterm. Yeah, I love the action potential now. Now that I can explain it, it's really fun. I did love hormones. I loved making the chart for it. Good luck on your midterm. You got this. Don't cry. But I am going to end the live here. I'll be back again tomorrow at 10 a.m. We'll do bones tomorrow. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I may go live a little longer. How to remember bone markings. Practice labeling. Let me know if you guys have any more quick questions. Thank you so much. My first time joining. I'm so glad you found me as well. I'm so glad that I found you. Nina. Yes, I'll do the bones. Do I ever go over physiology? Yeah, I do. New follower here. Thank you for following. Yeah, thanks for following, guys. Thanks for liking the live and thanks for the gifts and everything. But how often I'm going to try to go live every day. For like an hour, hour and a half to 2 hours, something like that. Thank you so much for... Yeah, no, thank you all guys for joining. You guys are the reason I'm here. So, if it wasn't for you, I cannot truly express my thanks enough to you guys. It really means the world. But I'm just going to do bones for now, unless anyone would like to have anything else on there. I'll probably do some labeling. I'll try to get some pictures that I don't get maybe like copyrighted from TikTok that we can practice labeling. But let me know. You make it simple. Thank you. Yeah, I try to. Send me an email if you want anything on the live tomorrow. I like this format where we have like 2 chapters. I think any more than that would be a little too much for a live. So I'll do bones and potentially joints. I know people were asking about that. So as of right now, I'll probably do bones and joints. But did you guys have any more like quick questions? The way I explained is awesome. Thank you. You are awesome. Do more quizzes. Yeah, I can do more quizzes. I know people have been requesting that I post quizzes to the profile too, so I'll probably do that as well. Do I do Anatomy 2 on live? Yeah, I can. I'm going to probably do everything. I'm probably going to do like tissue organization, the axial skeleton, the appendicular skeleton. So I'll probably go over all of it, and then plus the bones. So probably all of it, hopefully. How often do I go live? I've been trying to go live every day now. I'd like to try and go live every day for about an hour to 2 hours. So the practice questions from the lives, all the stuff that I do on live, I post to Instagram. But I'll probably post it to TikTok too. But is there a list of topics you study for bones? Yes, I do have. I can get a list together for that and some chemistry. But normally for an hour to 2 hours every day now, most likely. But normally it's been around like 7 p.m. I'm going to try to start going live earlier because I am starting to have some plans a little later in the day, especially when it comes to like the weekend and stuff. So they might start being a little earlier. Any more quick questions before I go? I think prior writing might be helpful, but I'm not too sure what academics websites. Great live. Thank you. Thank you, Vanessa. That's awesome. I'm not sure what academic websites for anatomy. There's some really good YouTubers. Ninja Nerd is fantastic. Nurse RN 834 says, great live. Thank you. Yes, you are great as well. We'll be back again, hopefully every day. Definitely tomorrow morning. We'll be back 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Skeletal system and joints and articulations. But I can definitely note things have great. Yeah, YouTube. I'll try to see if I can find some websites for you. I probably won't explain that right now. But it's like a network in the brain, though. Of arteries. But if there aren't any more questions, I am gonna... Yes, a nurse. I do. Yes, I do remember her. But if that's it, do I think some people just don't have it in them for this material? Nursing? No. I think that anybody can do anything. Personally, I think there are some people that don't have the work ethic for it. I've tutored people in the past that, I will say I did have my first year of tutoring. I had somebody show up the day before their final exam and, they were like, I was like, okay, like, where are your notes at? Like, where are you at? And they were like, I haven't been to class at all this semester. And I was like, you do like your finals tomorrow. Like, what do you mean you haven't been to class? Like, you don't have any notes? Like, you don't have anything? Like, oh boy, yeah. It's like things like that where I'm like, I just don't think you're really cut out for this. And like, just respectfully, like, in the most respectful way possible. But I think if you really like, if you really want to work hard and you want to learn, I think anybody can do it for sure. It's definitely possible. Some people it takes shorter than others. Some people take longer, but I think time frames are very irrelevant. I think everything can be done and should be done on your own time. That's best suited for you. But yeah, that's kind of what my opinion on that. I think people don't have it in them if they don't have the work ethic for it and don't care. Because you gotta care in healthcare. You really do. That's why care is in the name, healthcare. But yeah, I definitely have had people in the past show up to tutoring before final and be like, yep, I haven't been to class, I don't have any notes, haven't learned anything. And you're like, well, this is going to be kind of pointless. But yeah, normally some of those people have come back to me their following semester and they've done like so much better. They've learned their lesson from that. But consistency is definitely a big thing when it comes to anatomy and physiology. But anyway, thank you all for joining. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the likes. Thanks for following. I thank everybody a lot, but I really don't believe there are enough words to describe how fun you guys make this. Are you on live every day? I'm going to try to be, yeah. Right now I'll be back again at 10 a.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go over bones. But yes, I'm very thankful for you guys. You guys make this so much fun. But anyway, have a great rest of your night, guys. I will see you tomorrow. And good luck in anatomy and physiology, you guys. I know some of you said you had an exam. Good luck. You got this.